when you look at this image, you'll see, of course, Ren Pet right there. Now, you'll see here, this is our certification. When we talk about Ren Pet Chaut, the reason we have Ren Pet Chaut year, Ren Pet Chaut 20, and these are the Medut Ntoro, the quote-unquote hieroglyphs, but the Medut Ntoro, the symbols that represent Ren Pet, and the two cattle holds represent 10 and 10 together is 20 and so forth. But this is my 20th year of teaching Susuw, which is the ancient term for meditation. Let me show. Susuw, or meditation, is one of the ritual means by which we invoke Renpet, invoke Ma'at, balance our expression, energetic expression, emotional expression, and so forth. Now, so to give you an example of what we are referencing, this is one of the documents that we use when we introduce our course, our certification course. So we have a meditation instructor certification course where we certify you in the practice of Susuw and the teaching of Susuw, so you can utilize that certification as a credential to go out and teach in schools or after school programs, colleges, elementary schools, as well as places of employment for when people are dealing with work productivity and they bring people out at a seminar when they have a number of different speakers and they'll bring people out, they'll pay you $100, $200, $300 to come out and do a 20-minute meditation session to show how meditation can enhance work productivity. In various schools, they now employ meditation after the first bell in the morning, as well as after lunch and so forth for a few minutes to enhance learning outcomes and keep the children focused. You go to human services organizations or when people are dealing with therapy, social services organizations, women's shelters, family shelters, when people are having group therapy and so forth, and they know that meditation can help reduce anxiety and depression, get you back on focus. Other organizations that deal with holistic health or breastfeeding or assisting women with weight loss after having children and breastfeeding and so forth, and they bring you out for a holistic health seminar and teaching meditation. So there are different expressions where you can use that certification that we offer to employ yourself, a few times a week, going to different organizations and making $100, $200 per day, teaching meditation at these different organizations. Some people do it full-time, some people do it part-time. But this is one of the documents that we open up with when we're teaching our course. So the term Susuw is the ancient term for meditation in the Akan language. And we show in the Akan language, of course, Susuw means to measure, to take measure and so forth, to measure the depth of, calculate the capacity of, also to reflect upon, to meditate, to consider, to contemplate and so forth. But the root is to measure, but you're measuring the depth of the self, the structure of the spiritual self and so forth, contemplation and so forth. The root of the term Susuw is reduplicated Su. When you look in ancient Kamit and Kamit, Su, a measure of length. The same word meaning to measure in Akan is also the term to measure in ancient Kamit. When you look at the etymology of the word meditate, to ponder, think, abstractly engage in mental contemplation, from the Proto-Indo-European root med. What does the Proto-Indo-European root med mean? To take appropriate measures. Then we look at the word measure. The Proto-Indo-European root me means to measure. So whether med, the root of meditate, means to measure. You're measuring yourself, measuring the depth of yourself, the capacity of yourself, the structure of your spirit, and so forth. The notion of engaging in a form of ritual practice where you're measuring yourself, calculating the capacity of yourself, as we call it Susuw in Akan, Su in ancient Kamit. It has to do with measuring. This is why the Whites and Offspring said the word meditate is from the root med, meaning to take measure. And med means to measure. But even that is not a Proto-Indo-European root. It's actually, when they claim it's the Proto-Indo-European root me, or med that is stolen from meh in ancient Kamit, which is the cubit. What is the cubit? Meh, a full measure. The ancient Egyptian royal cubit. The ancient Egyptian royal cubit, meh, nesu, that's this meh, nesu, and so forth, is the earliest attested standard measure. It is the central unit of measurement in ancient Kamit. So, when you talk about measuring for roads and, buildings and temples and shrines and Meru pyramids and so forth, the meh means to measure, the unit of measure. This is the origin of the term med, which is the root of meditate, meaning to take measure. Meh itself meaning to measure, but engaging in Susuw is engaging in a process where you measure the depth of yourself, calculate the capacity of the self. So we teach Susuw. So when we go into a space and say we're going to teach this process of Susuw, they may have heard the word meditation, and anything that they've attributed to that or heard about that is going to flood their awareness, but we take that away and say, well, what we're going to teach is Susuw, the ancient term for meditation. Now, what does Susuw mean? To measure the depth of the self, calculate the capacity of the self, to reflect, to contemplate, to take measure of the self. When you take measure of the self and you measure your thoughts, intentions, and actions against the standard of order, natural order, when they don't measure up, then you can make corrections so you can move forward harmoniously. So then we give them the proper definition. That's the only definition they have. Anything else that they learn from Hinduism, Buddhism, or white culture and so forth, that's moved out the way. Then we can focus on the introductory practice. So you can engage in a basic introductory practice that can tangibly benefit the person to lower anxiety, depression, enhance learning outcomes for children, enhance productivity at the workplace and so forth, enhance focus for people who are engaged in certain tasks and so forth. All these different things that are tangible benefits immediately apparent. This is why people are paying people to come out and engage this process. So in the image, we talk about Ren Pi Chao. This is my 20th year of teaching meditation. We started off teaching it through the Patah Sasatim, which is one of our books. We go into Susuw, meditation, of what that actually is. This is actually an image from the first film, one time we filmed the Patah Sasatim, workshop and so forth. This image is from our video, Patah Sasatim video. You see it on the website. That was 18 years ago in 2006 when we did the first filming. We were teaching it since 2004, but in 2006 we filmed it and put it on DVD. So this is an 18-year-old image and so forth, but we've been teaching this for the past 20 years. But this year we decided, in year 20, we decided to start the certification process. We were teaching it before where people just learn how to engage in Susuw themselves. But as far as teaching people so they can be instructors and they can go out and teach other individuals, so we can send our people out to different parts of our community and transform our community from youth to adults wherever we exist, in schools, places of business, shelters, in the community and so forth. This is what we are working and aiming to do, to reach all of our people wherever we exist, youth all the way up to adults. So this is the certificate that we issue once people successfully complete the course. When they successfully complete it, you'll see that this is a certificate. The person's name will be there. They are achieved the title of Odwirafo. Odwirafo is the term for instructor in the Akan language and so forth. So they will be an Odwirafo of Susuw, or the full title would be Susuw Odwirafo in the Akan language, but in English they will be an instructor of meditation and so forth. So our next certification course, if you would like to be certified as an instructor, a meditation instructor, you'll see the flyer on the page. You can join that course, go through that process. It's a 4-week course. Some of the 31 books that I've published, including one of them you'll see here, the Nkwamua Whole Life Journal. That's an important book because we have an Nkwamua whole life approach to conveying this information to our clients. So the way that we teach Susuw meditation, not only the cosmological foundation and the origin of it, we also dispel the notion that terms like yoga and chakra came from India, Sanskrit. We show that yoga came from the term yonk or yok, which was corrupted into yonk or yoke and yoka, but it comes from Ankh in ancient Kamit. Chakra or kakra comes from kara in ancient Kamit and so forth. So we show how they stole all that information, but that's one of the books we deal with. But the Nkwamua Whole Life Journal is a whole life approach to conveying this information in a culturally sound fashion. So we go over a number of our books. The books that we go over are free downloads from our website. So it's a 4-week course. You can sign up for that. We have a split payment option if you like to make a deposit and then to register and reserve your space. And then next week or the week after, you can pay the balance and so forth. We also have on the site a referral fee option where you can make $100 for every person that you refer to the course. And what the process is basically when you refer the course to someone, and you can do it in a couple of different ways. We were talking about the female divinity Hedheru in her form of Hedheru, Unkoso, or Nahoso, also Nehesid and so forth. But in the context of talking about that, we also talked about our referral offer for those who are subscribed to us either via Patreon or on YouTube or on Instagram and Twitter and so forth. But if you direct someone to the course, once they register and pay the registration fee, then we will take $100 of that fee and transfer it to you. We'll go PayPal you or Zelle you, Venmo, whatever platform you use and so forth. Way of saying Yedase, we thank you to those who reach out to people on their list and so forth, the people you know. Of course, we don't know everybody you know, so you can reach people we don't know. So you tell them about the course, and all you really have to do is send them to the website. We have the trailer, the flyers, and we also have a lot of videos where we go into detail different aspects of Susuw meditation, cosmology, and trustery, and so forth. When they go to the site and they register, as soon as they register, you let us know that you referred that particular person. And once they register, then you send us your payment information, and we'll immediately send you the $100. If you refer one person, it's $100. If you refer 2 people, that's $200. If you refer 10 people and 10 people on your list sign up for our course, then we'll send you $100 per person. We'll send you $1,000. As soon as they make their payment, we'll send you the payment. So that is a way for us to, get people to register so they can become employed, self-employment, empower our community. You employ yourself, you make money for yourself, whether it's part-time or full-time. You're also impacting the community in a positive capacity so people can, overcome anxiety, overcome depression. It helps with overcoming addictions and so forth, and emotional imbalance, and all kinds of benefits that we talk about with regard to Susuw. So you impact the community in a positive capacity by being a Susuw Cherifo or an instructor of meditation, but you also can become self-employed. Just wanted to give you an overview and give you some insight into the nature of the divinity Renpet. Many people don't talk about. It's very often when, we typically follow very often, unfortunately, the whites and their offspring. So whoever they talk about when they're talking about our culture, whether it's Ra or Amin or, Asar and so forth, whoever they talk about, we talk about. But we don't look into the culture ourselves and look at these male and female divinities and their value and their shrines within our bodies and their function in creation and how we can invoke them on a daily basis just by name, by including Ma'at and Renpet in ritual Susuw in meditation or ritual Apai, prayer, or Oshue in libation, or whatever ritual practice you engage in, just by invoking their names, that unique set of sound vibrations that make up the name Ma'at and Renpet and so forth. When you see that within your spirit, you begin to invoke their shrines, invoke them within the shrines in your body and so forth, and you begin to realign yourself and your energy complex with these divinities, the one that governs law and balance, the one that governs proper emotional expression and sprouting. And you'll see changes within your life and the way you interact with individuals who are connected to you right away and perpetually. So we need to know who these forces in creation are, because they impact us whether we know who they are or not. You don't have to believe in any, you don't have to believe in the sun, it's impacting you. You don't believe in the atmosphere, you're dependent on the atmosphere, you're dependent on the sun, you're dependent on the water and so forth. Doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. We don't deal with belief, we deal with actual forces in creation that we are subject to and that we have a relationship with. So